later once you're like 20 seconds, 30 seconds in the draft. So whatever it was, here we go. It will be Vici Gaming with first ban again. They'll take out the Oracle once more.
And we are going to be seeing the Tusk banned out. We've been seeing all kinds of pull shenanigans from the Tusk
Yeah.
over the course of this tournament. I feel like every single lane has been pulled at this stage, so CDEC.Y is not going to want to deal with any of that here.
And it seems to have become like a first ban hero just because of the nature of those pulls. I think once the pulls get removed or changed or tweaked in some way, we'll see a bit more Tusk slip through, or maybe even not even get picked up in the first stage. But while those ancient pulls exist, Tusk probably won't be getting picked much.
Yeah. Oh man, so Isis changed from being Jeremy and now he's Cat, apparently.
All right.
There you go. Keeping things fresh, keeping things interesting for us.
he always he's just
that's
like
Daryl for you.
He's the rebel. Like he needs to find a way where he can just, I don't know, he can lash out without getting in too much trouble. And changing his nickname is his preferred one, I guess. He got in trouble for not wearing his jacket. He got fined though, so I guess he doesn't want to get fined anymore. But apparently Ace won't find him for changing his name, maybe.
I mean, he's always been a quirky guy, though, right? He didn't wear pants at TI in the booth. It's always an interesting one.
No, yeah, a player playing in boxers. That's actually probably one of the weirder things that's happened at a TI. I think since then they've actually like changed. Like I'm not sure if TI has rules. I think they might that you have to play in like you can't play in slippers and stuff. You have to have closed toe shoes, and I know some tournaments do. I'm not sure if TI is one of them, but. Well. See Vici Gaming here. Invoker first picked for them, so Prophet got banned out. Seems Prophet's the other hero that on the new patch seems to be seeing a ton of play as far as with the offlane changes and the buffs this hero got to his base intel and his treant damage. Very powerful now.
Yeah, I mean you got super fundamental buffs. More treant damage, more base damage, more int.
Yep.
The map is, I guess the other thing to mention is that when you've got extra camps on the map, Furion is one of the heroes that exploits that the best, just by having global presence. So even if your team is farming up everything else, you can just go and clear some ancients and clear the new secret shop camp. So that's always good. And we've seen jungling be a little bit more viable as well. So I'm not too shocked to see the Nature's Prophet emerging. And I feel like people have also kind of discovered the Aghanim Scepter a little bit on him. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. So that seems like another big factor that has only really come into the pro consciousness in this patch. But Vici Gaming, maybe some global stuff coming up here. The Wex build has been overwhelmingly popular for invokers, so we may not be seeing QE, but could see some Sunstrikes with some Ice Blasts potentially. Yeah. Could be good.
It's more likely I'd say that they just want to pick it up as like the Dazzle counter pick. Like you see the Dazzle Gyro opener. You want to have the Gyro Oracles being what we saw, I think, like 3 or 4 games in a row yesterday, where you just have this defensive support sitting behind your Gyrocopter so you can't focus and burst him down, which is what the Dazzle can do as well. Maybe not quite as well as an Oracle, and then AA will just negate that. So we'll see. It could be the global, but the more stable option is just running the classic support AA with the Quaswex Invoker.
Yeah, definitely seems that way. The really nice thing that Vici also have going for them, just with these 2 heroes, is that they put a lot of pressure on the Gyrocopter's BKB. Like, not only are they going to force him into buying a relatively early BKB, I think that's a given here, but also just in fights, as soon as the Gyrocopter kind of sees the Ice Blast coming his way or the EMP gets dropped down, then that's going to force him to pop his BKB right then and there, which isn't always ideal for a hero like Gyrocopter. That's a big hallmark of really good carry play, is being able to hold on to your BKB into the last second, but there just won't be that opportunity really this game when you're up against the Invoker Ancient Apparition. It's going to get forced at early, and it's probably going to get forced at every single fight.
Well, Beastmaster, Bounty Hunter, the next 2 bans for Vici Gaming. We saw 1 game of Inflames Beastmaster yesterday, I believe. Was that in the best of 3 you cast?
Yeah, it was the Inflamed Beastmaster. He did really well. Actually, it turned out to be an amazing pick, just in terms of maintaining the map control. They had the Beastmaster and they had the Nature's Prophet, and they were just scouting constantly with Treants and the Hawks. And I feel like they like, not only did they pick up like 3 or 4 free kills over the course of the game that really impacted it, but also they dodged what must have been like 5 or 6 ganks just from the little bit of extra scouting. It really messed with the with CDEC.Y's overall playstyle. So yeah, I think it's a pretty heads up ban here from Vici.
Good. All right. Well, we'll see what other kind of mid options CDEC look to go for then. There we see a return of the mid Aben, or maybe too soon to really tell, but. The draft very open. They haven't got Inflames here just yet. The Dazzle Gyrocopter showing they do want to play fast pace. But the thing I mean, Gyrocopter seems to be the one here that's not going anywhere. He's kind of become, I don't know, like the new just stable carry you can pick up whenever, because not only is he just great at the early game push, the 5-man, but he does also scale well into the late game with how popular Helm of the Dominators come for your carry items.
Yeah, I think people have raised some very good points talking about the fact that one of the big reasons that the Gyrocopter has stuck around is, one, his nerfs have been relatively tame on the whole. I think that's definitely part of it. He's still very similar to what he was a couple of patches ago. But the nature of what we've been seeing out of the off lane for the last couple of patches has made life very hard in the safe lane. I think you'll find a lot of carry players in pubs especially complaining about the fact that you've got your Slardar, Spirit Breaker, Undying, Tusk, all of these tanky offlane heroes that are more than capable of just getting to level 2 and then diving the safe lane tower and, you know, not really caring about support harassment at all. But the Gyrocopter holds his own in that kind of situation very, very well. So I think that's another big reason that we see so much of him.
Yeah, there's some offlanes, like if your opponents are picking up heroes like Darkseer, where you need to have like a really strong safe lane carry who's not going to get bullied by a Darkseer. CDEC.Y, speaking of offlaners, pick up the Clockwork for theirs, and then Vici go for the Venge. Venge, not quite as popular in this tournament, but we've seen this be like a top pick priority in some scenes. The SEA teams have been like first pick, first banning the hero. It's seen a bit of play in Europe, and quite likely going to see a Burning Vengeful Spirit. It could fit into a support role with the AA, but this is a very powerful hero, I think, to run in that safe lane farming role.
Yeah, they've got some really good options. I like it against I like it a lot, especially in the core role against the Dazzle Gyrocopter, because if they're using the Weave defensively, then the Wave of Terror manages to remove a lot of that armor, so you do manage to strip away quite a bit of survivability. But Swap has also got to be one of the best initiating tools in the game against Dazzle, especially if you've got a core Vengeful Spirit, because you've got the extra range, and you just swap in the opposing carry into your team, burst him down. Unless Dazzle somehow manages to farm up a Force Staff or a Blink Dagger, then it's going to be very difficult for him to get in range for the Grave against the level 2 or even level 3 swap. So this is a really good pickup for Vici Gaming.
Our Spirit going to make an appearance. Nothing wrong with CDEC Youth draft, though. They've gone, I'd say, very cookie cutter overall, but this is just very solid drafting from them here in game number 1. Earth Spirit is going to be kind of their roaming 4-position support. Seems to have taken, for most teams, they're picking Earth Spirit over what used to be like a Spirit Breaker in that 4-position role. And we'll see, I guess, it's going to be Demons playing this hero, perhaps? I'm not exactly sure who's going to be their Earth Spirit player. I don't think I've seen CDEC Youth actually run the hero yet.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but not coming to mind. I'll have a look.
Okay. Well, 4th pick for Vici Gaming now. They've got the Vengeful Spirit, the AA, the Invoker. They need a bit of kind of initiation of their own, perhaps. Still looking for that Ice offlaner. Among other things, the Faceless Void's still there in the pool, but not sure if that's going to be something they want to pull back into. They've got AA with an Ice Blast. They've got Invoker. Actually, Dragon Knight gets picked up. Vici Gaming going to be putting the Invoker either on the safe lane for burning or in the off lane for Ice. Ice, of course, known for his Invoker play in the past, and maybe something he's thinking he can run in the off lane.
Yeah, so that could potentially be, like you said, it could put the Invoker down to the safe lane, and that could make him like your QE Necrobook build, really early push. They get the supports running around and setting up for Sunstrikes, which could be good. I like the Dragon Knight a lot because they definitely needed something for the front lines. I mean, their other 3 heroes are pretty squishy on the whole, but as you said, they do have options. I think if they had one slightly stronger like offlane dual support, then maybe we could see the Invoker offlane. But I don't know if teaming up with the Ancient Apparition or the Vengeful Spirit is going to be all that amazing. It does leave you a little bit vulnerable, perhaps, to like the Earth Spirit rotating in or something like that. And all right, we wanted some new heroes, Parker, and we're getting it this game.
Got the Outhouse Decorator, and then a Brood pick, so it will be a safe lane Invoker. I was about to say, like, I feel like an Invoker without the secondary support to back him up is just going to get zoned out by a Poison Touch Dazzle. Yeah. So FY Invoker, support Invoker. Oh, you know, this. It was, I think, Fogged who was talking about it. Like, I remember someone asking, like, oh, what's your favorite hero you've been playing? He's like, man, support Invoker in pubs is so much fun. You go around, like, just cold snapping people at level 1, and support Invoker for FY. This is a draft. Not to mention we get an Outworld Devourer.
Right. Yeah, and you know, I'm not too unhappy to see a little bit of Broodmother either. The Ice Brood as well. Notorious for scouting and just being a nuisance. I definitely wouldn't want to be playing against him, but casting, more than happy to. But yeah, support Invoker definitely seems much more viable this patch with the level 1 Invoke change than he has been in previous versions. So we'll see what FI can get done. We've been talking about him a lot in terms of picking these roaming supports and picking the slightly greedier 4 positions, but then playing them in a not so greedy way. I think the old FY 4 position way was, you know, somewhat similar to like an EGM 4 position, which was, you know, it's just very just sort of get your carry to go into the jungle after a certain point and then just go and hit creeps. I guess, you know, AOI kind of fits into that mold as well. But FY recently with the Pudge, with the Mirana, and I guess in theory now this game with the Invoker has been picking pretty active 4 position supports.
Yeah, and
it's a tweet coming out, Parker, for the
you betcha, dude. I'm just like, let's get this out. Let's let people know. But FY, I mean, in the past, he was a lot more, I felt like, aggressive when, like, the classic FY Fenrir duo, like, you go back to, like, TI4 and stuff, it was, like, dual support roam, where neither of them would focus on farming or playing greedy at all. So, for Vici Gaming over the past 6.85 patch, it seemed FY was playing much more the true greedy 4, with Fenrir playing the selfless role, but seems FY for now experimenting a bit more with what are the different options as far as in this game the Invoker, but we've seen Pudge, Mirana, we've seen all kinds of crazy things. Here we go, level 1 fight here at the bottom lane, Chilling Touch across the board, Burning, has the Magic Missile ready. Who are they going to go for here? It looks like June's the target they want. He gets banished though by Inflame, that'll keep him alive, and Super will give up first blood. Bounty Rune gets picked up by the OD as well. Great start for CDEC.Y.
Alright, that was pretty good.
4 seconds prison duration, level 1. I don't know if Vici Gaming knew that one.
Yeah, it's always those expectations that get messed with, right? It was even the game the other day where we saw the Morphling pick. I mean, he didn't do all that amazingly, but the increased morph rate definitely caught teams out a little bit there. So I'm gonna see some OD. I don't think either team scouted one another for that level 1 engagement, which is definitely part of why it was so crazy, because both teams just completely committed. Demon's well off the mark with that rolling boulder there. All right, he's finding his stride. Gotta warm up a little bit. First game of the day.
They're going in aggressive here on Burning, but no Rocket Barrage.
So they're just leaving the Clockwork 1v1 against the Broodmother, which doesn't seem amazing. I think it's actually somewhat alright for the Clock. Should be pretty difficult for him to die, and he will get good CS early on. But I think the big factor is just putting pressure on this Invoker. It's definitely a greedy 4 position hero, and their aggressive tri-lane is actually very well equipped. So just have to keep the pressure up. They don't have the pull blocked, so that's where Vici can build up a little bit of an advantage, I guess, and drag their way back into this lane.
Yeah, and until Brood hits something like level 4, level 5, the Clockwork won't be in too much danger up at this top lane. Ice immediately Tango's a Central, which is going to give him a huge amount of HP regen in this lane, so not a fight the Clockwork can live, and unfortunately that means he's 1 sentry down, and Ice will have at least the vision advantage. Bottom lane, Burning's been jumped in on, body blocks coming in from Demons on the Earth Spirit, but he's going to be forced back as backup arrives. FY ready with the Cold Snap.
Yeah, it looks like I think FY may have been dodging experience a little bit earlier. I think fair enough. You know, 1 more point in Quas or the first point in Wex, I don't think changes things too much here. The level 1 Tornado range is pretty garbage, so I think they were trying to get their level 2 up on the Venge and the AA as quickly as possible, because those are definitely the the two big heroes in this lane to be able to set something up. You know, Magic Missile, Cold Snap with the Cold Feet should be a relatively straightforward kill.
He's got a EMP now, it looks like, as well as his secondary spell. So 100 mana burn this early on in the game, pretty damn nice. A hero like Earth Spirit, that just takes away a spell. But you've got to be able to land it, so you've got to combo it with the Magic Missile, not just the Cold Snap alone, I imagine. Burning, hit by the stun. Gonna Rolling Boulder in. Gyrocopter was already backing off though, so perhaps a bit of miscommunication. As a result, Arme in some trouble. Gets hit by the EMP, the stuns there from the Vengeful Spirit. Have they got the damage from though? It looks like he may survive that one to the tornado. Ooh, you mentioned it. It's not exactly very long. Gonna need to be bigger than that to satisfy Vici Gaming, and they won't get the kill. Centaur gets into the party, stuns up demons, and neither team will lose anyone there. That was a interesting little engagement.
Yeah, quite a bit of regen gets chewed through there. Like, what do we actually have left? Well, Tango's in the Dazzle, Tango in the Gyro. Looks like Demons has had enough. He's just going to back up and go and grab some mana. But I think that actually works out alright for Vici. Looks like they're going to be able to stick around a little bit longer. Though the wave position ends up right underneath CDEC.Y's tower, so that actually looks pretty good for them. We haven't checked in on the mid lane at all. Dragon Knight is doing passably against the OD. What do you think the OD's role is really in this game? Is it just to try and win this lane? Because the new OD seems somewhat, maybe even somewhat weaker at that than the previous incarnation. What's your take on this hero?
To me, CDEC Youth is not a team who's going to draft a mid hero for Inflame to win his lane. Like they're drafting him a mid game hero, so they're probably thinking that this hero, like mid game, what he provides to his team, he's already got 2 points in the aura. Like they're going to look, I think, to 5-man around the OD. Like possibly go for something like the utility item, like a mech or a fast fall staff, and just fight with him. I definitely can see that being kind of a strat here. Something I'm curious to see with the OD is if like something like a Dragon Lance could be an item with the orb, but I think more than anything it's going to be the playstyle around it, where he goes utility items, he groups up with his team. Gyrocopter having kind of unlimited mana because of the Essence Aura, Dazzle having unlimited mana possibly with the Essence Aura, just gives them great sustain.
Yeah, I do think that the Dazzle OD is actually a little bit underrated. You live through a fight with those two heroes and your entire team just goes right back to full HP off of the Shadow Wave spam, so that's definitely something to look out for here. But yeah, I'm just as curious as you are in terms of what the build is going to be here for Inflame. Force Staff seems good. He's probably also going to need a BKB somewhere down the line this game. Just, I guess it is only a support invoker, so maybe not as much pressure applied. The FY is getting some farm in the lane at the moment.
Burning's rotated somewhat into the jungle. I guess I mean, this lane is a very much a death trap for a lot of heroes, for Burning at least.
Clockwork, big trouble.
Oh, wow.
No, it's gonna be alright.
So I's first ulti comes out and doesn't find the kill on Clock, but gets him very, very low. Clockwork 25 CS, a lot of that probably coming in Spiderlings though, so perhaps slightly inflated. His net worth overall not looking too fantastic here, and Ice takes a 5.5 minute tower, so perhaps, I guess at this stage, how you'd expect the lane to go. I don't know if you feel Clockwork should be doing a little bit better, or if this is just inevitable.
Nah, I feel like this is probably just how it was going to go, almost no matter what. The big question is whether or not the FY jumped here, bit of damage, but looks like he's going to be alright. But I think the big question that it comes back to is whether or not the aggressive tri-lane was the right decision for CDEC Youth. I guess, in a way, they did protect their other lanes from roaming from the Vici Gaming supports, and I think that's definitely what you would have seen out of them, but they lost the other lane. We got Tornado coming in mid.
Yeah, Flame getting low, the Cold Snap follows up the Tornado, who pops the Fairy Fire. Now he's got backup in the form of a Shallow Grave. FY going down here, super as he got another Breathe Fire. Doesn't look like he's got the mana for it. Inflame still alive for now, but Burning, helping make sure that his team do okay here. He goes in, gets a secondary stun off. Demons now in trouble. Runs in for the Boulder Smash, but not gonna amount to enough for them. In hindsight, I think the Grave came out a bit too early, but very much Icy was like, okay, my OT's in trouble, I need to pop this Grave now, but perhaps a tiny bit too early.
Yeah, I guess he just didn't realize that the OD still had Fairy Fires to use, and could have survived a little bit longer, making it up onto the high ground. But yeah, I definitely agree that Grave probably could have come a little bit later. Demons hunting for this kill on Burning. Both spells gonna miss, but they're still gonna keep the chase up.
Gyro's got phase boot, so they should be able to catch up to this one. Meanwhile, in the jungle, it's the Brood Invoker. They've caught out Clockwork. This time, ice will get inside the cogs. Burning's now got backup. He's ran to the Invoker, as well as the Brood Mother. This is a 3v3 engagement here. Ice without ultimate will just back off. It looks like they're going to leave Burning to die. Spiderling's doing some good damage here, and, well, Earth Spirit may be in some trouble here. Another Soul Ring spawn Spiderlings could be the death of Demons here. Odie imprisons himself. Demons, trying to bottle himself back up. Inflame actually doing the bottling, and Ice has a Soul Ring now. Does he go for the nuke? Looks like he didn't have the vision he needed for it.
Yeah, Ice kind of realizing where the sentry ward was towards the end of that. Just ran right a little bit, and all of a sudden the rocket barrage stopped. It's like, aha! Now I know where I'm safe. But he is looking really scary this game. Great CS, has a Midas. Hook's gonna land on FY, but
that's the first hook of the game too.
Yeah.
FY not panicking there. He could have gone for a tornado to push the OD back, but went for the Ghost Walk instead with what limited mana he had, and probably saves his life since that hook shot did come in.
So what else is... So the Brood now has total access to the Dire jungle, has a Midas. This is just looking like an amazing Broodmother game from this point forward. June, first hook, a little bit of a flub. That was the only advantage that I think CDEC.Y really gained out of what they chose to do laning-wise. Was, you know, they made sure that the Clockwork got some good levels, at the very least against the Brood, but he hasn't been able to pay that back just yet, so... I guess it remains to be seen if that laning decision was the best. They do have really good CS on all three of their cores, so it's probably worth it overall.
Mid lane, he's going to see a stun come out. Super needs to get away from this cooldown. He's going to get hit by the first blast, and he found a rotation onto the Dragon Knight. The Gyrocopter at this point, with his level 6 about to be level 7, needs to be the one taking kills, and they just have not got a good draft for dealing with Brood even in the mid game. Like, they haven't got a Spirit Breaker or a Bounty Hunter, someone who can give you the vision you need to charge a Brood once she shows on the map and then pop a dust to kill her. Like, they've got, I guess, Clockwork with Hookshot as the best possible catch. Earth Spirit is so-so as well, but to me this is a draft that's just going to struggle to deal with Brood.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the reason that we saw the Brood pick come out so late, right? Was that Vici kind of realized that there was no good answers to it. The Gyrocopter's going to spend, looks like, quite a bit of time trying to deal with this top lane, but as you can see, the Brood's still got the leg up on him right now.
And even if he gives a Spiderling or two, he's pushed the Gyrocopter out of this lane and frees himself up to start pressuring and pushing down this tower. FY at mid will get hit by the Boulder Smash, the Rolling Boulder to follow it up, and the Silence. Great play from Demons. Hits his combo, but he looks like he will pay for this with his life. Maybe not if the OD has a thing or two to say about it. Astral Imprison will just buy some time for the DK to get another Breathe Fire and secure the kill. From the north comes Ice, but no kills for him.
Yeah. Burning even rotating into the mid lane here, so nobody farming bot for Vici at the moment. Oh, Hook coming in.
Swap out. He says, Super, you want to get in this one? Burning. Caught by the cooldown still. He may still go down here. The Tornado going to save his life, though. Nice play from FY. Unfortunately for Super, he's going to get thrown under the bus, and they still lose Burning. The flak damage from AIM was enough to get the kill. And in the end, Vici Gaming lose 2 of their cores here in the mid lane.
Not good, not good. Good Ice Blast, though. But...
Is there a Tornado? Anything from the Invoker up top? He invokes it. 3 seconds to go. He's got 3 points in Wex. Can he hit it? Doesn't look like it. No, he's not going to go for it. Ice, on the other hand, he is going to come in. He swoops on in from the north, forces a Grave on the Dazzle, and then just backs himself up a little bit. Spiderling's going to get taken out. Barely. Whew. Ice. He's still fishing. He's actually going aggressive here. I'm not sure if that was the play. Ice, please. He gives vision for what looked... Was that a Sunstrike I heard? Yeah, that was a Sunstrike. It missed, and... Rocket Flare? Ice Blast, actually. Not going to hit anyone. They see it coming. They've got the vision they needed on the mini-map, and now they can heal up. Oh, boy. They just lost all 3 of their carries, 1 by 1 there. Well, not really 1 by 1. 2 died in the mid-team fight, and then Brood a bit too aggressive.
Yeah, that was a pretty YOLO decision from... SSI, especially because of the opportunity cost as well. You know, the entire jungle was pretty much ready to farm for him, I think, or could have pushed at the top lane some more. So not only does he die, but misses out on a whole bunch of farm. at the same time, and he is really important for his team at the moment. That he kind of stays up on things.
From lane, they're going to swap in June here. Sunstrike to follow. Straightforward kill for Vici Gaming, and with the DK ulti form up, they'll at least get some pressure onto this tier 1 bottom tower, possibly take it completely.
There's a glyph available, but I guess no clockwork for 20 seconds.
No cooldown, it was just used mid,
ice again.
It's going down. They're probably happy with the brood kill, even though they lose this bottom tier 1 tower. That's 2 kills in a row on the top net worth hero.
Yeah, the brood's actually worth a lot, which is
400 gold at this stage of the game for an Earth Spirit.
Yeah.
Vici Gaming backing up a little bit here. They find a courier. CDEC. Oh. Nope. Not gonna. No way to get the flying vision they need. So, short one right click.
What do you make of this OD skill build? With the, it seems pretty good. The Arcane Orb seems like it's doing work, and it feels like the Sanity's Eclipse is a little bit underwhelming now without the reliable way to build up the indifference with the Astral. So this actually feels like it might be the build potentially.
Yeah, the max aura, like as far as five-manning heroes go, an OD with max aura is actually pretty useful because Dazzle Shadow Wave is just can be unlimitedly like spammed 6-second cooldown. You're not worried about the mana cost as much. Especially this early on when your Dazzle can't even afford something like Mana Boot, so I'm liking what I'm seeing from the OD. I think it suits the CDEC Youth kind of playstyle we saw yesterday that was winning them games. Even though OD doesn't dominate the lane as much, in a 5-man Death Ball style draft, the OD pick works well.
Yeah, it's really interesting because this draft looks very different from some of the drafts that we've seen them running up until this point in the competition, but it plays very similarly. It's the same kind of 5-man calculated movement, reasonable aggression, but with a totally different, well, a somewhat different roster of heroes. You can maybe talk about the Dazzle as somewhat of an enabler. Another attempt on Ice here, but looks like this one's not going to be successful.
Caught him with the dust, but didn't get the Rocket Flare vision.
But yeah, it's really nice to see from CDEC that they've got the flexibility. I mean, I was even talking about it with Scant yesterday that one of the hallmarks of some of the strongest teams that Dota has ever seen is a team that can just run the exact same lineup but with different heroes every time.
Mid lane, Amy gets graved, and that Ice Blast may secure the kill though. Yeah, he's just going to look to turn and fight. One more Rocket Barrage won't even get cast. The Astral Prison's there though. Have they got the damage after the prison? No, he pops up the wand. Goes down to the Burning Magic Missile in the end now, and Super on the run with the Magnetize. He gets hookshotted now. Everybody just getting caught in the Magnetize here. Earth Spirit just wreaking havoc in this fight. Gets another Boulder Smash onto FY, and it looks like the Magnetize will finish him off. Huge damage coming out from Demons. He won't get FY though in the end, and CDEC Youth have still managed to lose 3 here. Invoker 1 hit from dead. There's the Saints Eclipse. Inflame will get the kill on Burning. Can you get Ice as well? The Arcane Orb actually misses in the web. Doesn't find the kill, and FY has earned himself back up once. Won't do so a second time. Whew. Bit of a crazy team fight in the end there. How much damage does that Earth Spirit do? Where is he?
Yeah, he was top of the fight.
Oh yeah, he was 2k damage from him, 1800 damage from the OD. Magnetize, good spell.
Yeah. It looked like the Dazzle was actually a little bit surprised that the Gyrocopter survived after getting imprisoned. Yeah. I guess he just didn't realize that the Gyro had 17 wand charges to pop after he came out, because the Dazzle had Shadow Wave available as soon as the Gyrocopter popped out, and they might have even been able to save him, but did not work out. And Radiant Courier dies. That was in
right near mid lane. I'm not sure what for that. Neutrals or something.
Who knows? There's a ward around here, but that was just a bunch of Vlad's components for Ice getting.
Yeah, I have no idea how the courier died there. Very odd place for it to go down. Can you deny your own courier if it's below the threshold?
Maybe.
not to say that's what happened, but that just occurred to me. I was like, that courier was probably below deny range. I wonder if you can deny a courier.
It could have also still been low, and then maybe the like the Spiderlings went invis near the neutral camp or something. Gotta jump in on the
nice cooldown,
he's getting
but
bursted.
yeah, he's going to go down here. Burning's under for a long time here. The Magnetize coming into play again. Burning trapped in the cogs, and it looks like he's going to be just thrown to the wolves as Super looks for the TP out. Boulder Smash does not come in time. He actually had no Stone Remnants left to use it, so something you have to kind of play around with the Earth Spirit. After a big fight like they just had, it takes some time for him to get his max stones back up.
So they get the pick, but they still end up losing the Gyrocopter's counterpart over on the other side, so it's still pretty good turnaround for CDEC.Y. They're playing this fairly conservatively, I mean, still staying grouped up for the most part. It feels like the Broodmother has actually been dealt with really well. I thought after the way that this game started for the Brood with the early tier 1 tower, with the initial farm, that Ice was just going to totally take over the game, but he's had 3 deaths kind of back to back to back, and that's really slowed down his overall map pressure. I mean, if you look at this tier 2 on top lane, it's really barely been scratched, and you know, we were saying that this is a game where it didn't look like they had the answers to the Broodmother, but it seems like 5-man ganking has actually been the solution. And we will see that Dragonlance that you were talking about on the OD.
Yeah, I quite like it. I mean, OD definitely has attack range issues as far as dishing out damage with the orb. So we'll see the new item pick up. Everything as far as stats go from the item, pretty useful as well. Maybe outside of the damage you could say for a hero like OD, but 10 damage, why not? You'll take it.
Yeah, definitely not going to complain. And we were talking about him needing a BKB at some point. So.
Kill onto the AA to start a fight at bottom lane. Jude now trying to get out. His hookshot has been used to get that kill. A swap available for burning. The Grave now comes into play. June just going to look to turn and fight. One Shadow Wave is there, and the offensive Urn Charge with a Breathe Fire. Super's Blink Dagger gets a counter kill on a Clockwork here, and it looks like Super now the new target for CDEC. Can they catch up to him? Demons has a rock, will go for the kick, gets the catch onto him. Rolling Boulder will slow down Super. Actually, doesn't slow him down. The Magnetize, though, will dish out some good damage here. Demons, though, still out of boulders, meaning this Magnetize will wear off and not really do all that much here. The Ice Blast coming out, looking like it could catch a couple. It does not clip aim, but he's going to go for the TP. Graved up, will save his life. Can he get out of here still? Looks like, yep, Breathe Fire will actually catch him out now. Inflame in the front lines, has a Sound Eclipse, but he's lacking backup right now. He's in a 1v5 scenario, and this is looking terrible for CDEC. Shadow Wave will not make a difference here, and that just is going to spell the death of Icy as well. This is a full team wipe in the end. Vici Gaming pick apart CDEC Youth Squad.
I know, it's just so unfortunate that the Earth Spirit didn't have any rocks left. They didn't get the slow on the rolling boulder, couldn't follow up the Magnetize at all. It was just a really bad time to take a fight, and no. Vici Gaming just gonna head straight into the pit, actually making pretty quick work of the Roshan. Guess it's just the aura stack.
Here comes a couple of heroes, but again, they're fighting continuously. They've got just 2 stones. You've got to almost treat the Earth Spirit like a hero with a long cooldown ultimate. When he hasn't got stones, it's very hard to fight. Attempted roast steal. They actually maybe would have gotten that if that hookshot had landed, but very much like you take a big fight. It went really well, like at least went pretty well in the mid lane, and then 2 fights in a row after that, Demons is just playing with no stones and does very little in a team fight as a result. So it feels like they just need to sit back, play a bit slower until he's acquired a bit more utility in the team fight in the form of those stone remnants.
Yeah, I mean the hero is generally well equipped to take skirmishes, but the big issue is always when you actually get a good Magnetize off and you use all of your remnants to keep it going, then you need to wait around for a little bit.
And the beautiful thing is with the Magnetize, if you're catching 3, 4, 5 heroes with it, when you stun any of those heroes or slow or silence them, it affects everyone who's been Magnetized. So that's incredibly powerful in a team fight. You just get stunned out of nowhere or slowed out of nowhere. So something very important in a team fight scenario for an Earth Spirit player to try and do.
Yeah, they actually removed the stun spreading, but the silence and the slow.
Okay, the silence and the slow. Sorry, not the
God,
stun.
the stun. I think that would be way too scary.
Yes,
it's already bad enough that this hero basically has global silence in some sense. Definitely doesn't need like the old Centaur ulti on top of everything else. But anyway, looks like that good couple of minutes here for Vici Gaming to keep on doing something. They've got a Blade Mail now on the Vengeful Spirit, which I find a little bit curious. I mean, you are going to be swapping in. It is a little bit suicidal, but you don't have all that much health to take advantage of it. And I feel like there's already a lot of incentive to get BKBs on the CDEC Youth Squad, so
Yeah.
The blade mail is kind of weak from that perspective as well. You know, the BKBs are going to happen anyway, so I don't know why bother buying the blade mail. But maybe he'll get some value out of it. It does deter the
They're going to run into the Brood here. The dust comes out. iG.V. He's going to block the hookshot with the Spiderlings, and now it looks like he will get out to freedom. June's initiation backfiring, even with a Force Staff, and well, iG.V. makes a good smoke detector, it turns out, and will prevent the CDEC aggression from achieving anything.
They're still running in here, but they've been scattered by a Radiant Ward, so this shouldn't really catch anybody in theory. Looks like it's just going to end up being a little bit of wasted time for them, unfortunately.
Super now, what's he picked up? He was holding on to a lot of gold. Got a BKB, so...
Yep.
Very good timing on his item pickups this game. He's recovered tremendously. I'd say recovered. He was having like a pretty just kind of slow-paced early game. He wasn't necessarily getting destroyed, but suddenly he's looking like he's one of the big forces in this game with a BKB and Blade Dagger.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that hasn't really changed about the OD at all with the tweaks. He's still super garbage against BKB, so... I feel like I've been talking about the need for CDEC.Y to pick up BKBs and how valuable they are against the Vici gaming squad, but BKBs for Vici are actually really, really good this game against Earth Spirit, against OD, and against the Gyrocopter. Burning can take some damage, but does have Aegis.
Looks like they just want to try and get a cheap Aegis kill, but they're not even going to be able to kill off Burning. Their Ice in the backline's getting initiated on by the Brood, who's now going to BKB of his own. The Ice Blast swooping in will miss everyone. Burning throws away the Aegis. Icy survives. Can Vici Gaming get anything out of this? They'll take out the OD. Ice, and Super. They're two BKBs unable to be dealt with, and Burning on the front lines will bring down Gyro as well. Off to the back, it's Demons on the Earth Spirit getting cold snapped up. He magnetizes an FY as a result, looking like he may go down. No heals available, and they're going to lose Earth Spirit, but he takes Invoker down with him, so a support for a support. And Vici Gaming win a team fight in the mid lane, get themselves a tier 1 tower as well.
I'm just not clear on what the incentive is for CDEC.Y to take that fight, honestly. I mean, waiting out the Aegis is going to be tough because VG do have a really good 5-man push lineup, but they were really eager to take it in there. And you know, even if the fight had started the way that they were hoping with the immediate kill on the Vengeful Spirit, it feels like just during the Aegis respawn time, Vici were still gonna wreak havoc. So
I'm not sure how much maybe they knew about the BKBs.
Were up. Yeah, maybe they just didn't realize that the 2 BKBs were up and were telling themselves that they could still fight.
The DK one had just been picked up, and I'm not sure about the Brood one, if that had been up for that long or if it'd been scattered.
No, it was at the same time. Okay. Yeah, the Brood probably wasn't scattered for sure. DK maybe, but
the Brood just ran in with BKB and initially forces Dazzle to self-grave, and then once Dazzle self-graves and runs away, he just changes target to the OD, and OD with a Brood on him is not going to be able to do too much.
Well, unfortunately for CDEC.Y, losing that fight is actually going to set their BKBs back a couple of minutes. Gyrocopter still just needs to grab the recipe, but that's only 400 gold away. OD still needs the Mithril Hammer, so he needs about 1,000. So they're close, but not quite. And I guess just being a little bit behind is the reason that they didn't have their own BKBs ready for that fight.
Something I find interesting with the Dragonlance, I remember when it was like theory crafted, everyone kind of talked about how, people are just going to use the Dragonlance to like split, you get it early game, then you split it up to buy like a BKB and like a Butterfly if you're like an Agi carry, but it seems most carries who buy it just want it for the Dragonlance. Like he's bought a second Ogre Club and it gives you good stats, but we're not seeing it be disassembled to like finish late game items.
I think the issue is that it's such a small item, and that if you were going to use it as a stepping stone to BKB, it's actually a little bit awkward. Like you would only be using it for like 2 minutes or something like that before you finished farming up the BKB, and if you're getting an early BKB, it feels like you're probably just gonna be in flame. Unfortunately scattered out here.
You talked about the BKB timings, that's gonna slow down his even more. He was so close to the Mithril Hammer there.
Is Bird just gonna go for this random solo kill here?
He can probably force a grave TP at least.
Yeah.
Wait, actually BKB. Not sure that was necessary. Perhaps just worried about other heroes being night. AIM actually cancels his TP. He's got backup in the form of the Earth Spirit. It looks like he want to go for this kill. They're going to get the Boulder Toss, call down. ice has been played for a fool. And he will go down. The question is, can they get the Gyrocopter? Sunstrike, Ice Blast. They've got him. No, he's going to BKB and survive. Well, interesting little clash in the bottom lane. This
Yeah,
level
it's a
1
bit fun.
Sunstrike has, against Dazzle, has some potential, I guess.
Yeah, especially if you've got somebody like Grave TPing back to the fountain. Seems
Top
reliable.
mid.
Hook in on mid lane.
There's a Tornado EMP used as a counter initiation. Super gonna just BKB his way out of this one. Turns for a Dragon Tail, but it seems he is gonna be on the run. Blinks out to get away from any additional catch. So Vici Gaming force a BKB out of the Gyrocopter, which was his 10-second BKB, and get themselves a tier 2 tower while losing a Brood.
I think CDEC.Y is still looking all right here, but just kind of getting, well, falling incrementally behind. This is a pretty big smoke. Wasn't scouted. BKB still on cooldown for the Gyrocopter at the moment, so it is a pretty difficult time for them if they want to try and take a full-on 5-on-5, especially since the OD isn't there. He's still trying to finish up his BKB, but just gambling on being able to find one random pickoff.
And they've found it. It's Ice on the Brood. Can they actually get the pickoff here? He 4-staffs away, has a hook shot available. He may need to turn and use it. Do they go for this kill, or are they just going to look to run? The cooldown is there. The swap back into June, but Ice is still in a lot of trouble here. He's getting very low. Aim will finish off the first kill. Clockwork getting low on the Dire side here. They're just trying to bail out here. A couple Ice Blasted heroes spelling trouble here, and Aim getting slowed down by the Frost Dragon. Needs a grave, perhaps. Is it even available? 3 seconds away, and CDEC.Y have disengaged here. They get a kill with the Sunny's Eclipse. Fenrir goes down on the AA Super now. BKB's himself, and Inflame cannot do anything to that, but he can kill off FY's Invoker. They've taken 3, looking for 4. Super blinks himself out of there, and it doesn't look like they'll be able to catch up, but 3 for nothing. Dazzle just spamming those Shadow Waves, keeping everyone alive, the Urn Charges as well, and you don't really notice the Essence Aura, but I have a feeling it's having a pretty big impact for the CDEC.Y team fight.
Yeah, that was such a sick Earth Spirit stun at the end there as well. It just looked like the Gyrocopter was about to go down, and then Demons manages to get the stun on both the Dragon Knight and one other hero. Kind of saves the fight. They were just waiting for the OD to turn up. Inflame was actually, as they were running in, he was finishing farming up his BKB over in the Dire jungle and got it delivered and was just hoofing it over, but arrived at just the right time, and CDEC.Y to end up winning that fight pretty convincingly. This Broodmother is still farmed, but goes to show that can't really go toe-to-toe with the CDEC.Y lineup at the moment.
We'll see Burning pick up an Aghanim Scepter on the Vengeful Spirit. A new tweak to this item means you do get an illusion after you die. The illusion lasts until you respawn, but it can be killed off. So an interesting little change. It means you can kind of keep providing the aura, some stuns to your team, even while you're dead, theoretically, if you can keep the illusion up.
Yeah, and it does, what, 50% damage and takes like 150%, I think, off the top of my head.
It deals 50 damage, and it's not able to use all of your abilities. Sorry, it can use all of your abilities, but can't use items.
Yeah, I'm just not sure on the percentages, right? Because it's an illusion, so it still takes bonus damage, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure the exact amount of bonus damage it takes. Okay.
But I think this just plays into the fact, and you know what I was talking about during the draft, that the Vengeful Spirit's role this game is very much just to swap one of the big heroes away from the Dazzle so that their team can burst him down.
They've caught Inflame with a chain stun here. Will they actually get the kill? And he pops a BKB, 4-stuff to the low gun. Grave will keep him alive for now. They want to chase him down, it seems, but Super with his BKB fighting in the front lines has Burning next to him. The gem gets passed over, it looks like, as Aim bringing down Burning here. Where's that illusion? A second Vengeful Spirit comes into play. He's got a swap as well as a stun. Burning getting silenced up here on his illusion here. Instead, it's going to be Ice going in on Demons. Getting 1 kill. The illusion still chasing. Gets the swap onto Aim. The Gyrocopter goes down. Gets stunned up as well. There's the Ag Scepter coming into play. And Burning just acting like a sacrificial lamb here to get his team a good team fight. Icy now. He's got the gem for now. Now, Vici Gaming have the gem. Well.
Oh, man. If not for the Aghanim Scepter, then that actually looks kind of alright for CDEC.Y.
Yeah.
Getting the kill on the Venge early on, but Burning has built exactly for his role this game, which is just kind of die in the fights and keep people away from the Dazzle.
I think the biggest problem with that fight was probably also the fact that Vici Gaming had vision of CX. They were like rotating through the river towards that secret shop area under vision of a ward. So Vici Gaming had the high ground and had full control over how the fight started off. They had OD down on 200 HP before he could even pop his BKB, and he had to use his BKB defensively. So it was always going to be a tough fight for CDEC.Y when they were being scouted out and fighting from low ground to high ground.
Yeah, this OD desperately needs iG.Vs. He's at least got the plate mail now, so that's gonna help him out in the armor department. But he dropped just so quickly to the right-click damage between the Dragon Knight and the Vengeful Spirit in that last fight. Also, potentially getting off a good weave. If CDEC can take a much more organized fight and have their team buffed up to start, that's definitely going to be a very big factor.
Here we go, Burning, leading the charge. He's got a level 2 swap. Can he land it? Who's he going to go for? They're going to blink forward in. Super will not get the first stun off. It's going to be AIM popping his BKB very defensively, though. Super's used his. Now it's going to be fighting into Inflame. Inflame maybe in BKB form, but the right-click damage proving to be a lot for him to deal with. He gets very low in the backlines. Ice now manning up onto the Earth Spirit. Can they bring him down? The Ice Blast on the Gyrocopter will secure that kill as well. Super now looking for a new target, perhaps. He gets the stun onto Inflame, who's been caught on the high ground. He goes down. Clockwork hookshot on the low ground. It's just being used to try and cover his escape. Venge, well, that's a Venge illusion. Swapping for style points, perhaps. Again, it's Burning going down, but guess what? Everyone's still got the aura.
It needs to actually keep this illusion alive.
I guess you can't toggle tower aggro. Okay, there he did. For a second, it looked like he was like you couldn't toggle the tower aggro with the illusion, but manages to keep it alive. And here we go. Everyone's got that Venge aura, and everyone will take this mid lane of Rax, possibly top lane as well.
CDEC.Y just last couple of fights have not been able to get any kind of initiation. I mean, the one fight that they won was actually when they managed to find the Brood right at the very start, but Vici have just been a little bit more successful overall, a little bit more ward vision, and that's finally going to end up winning big here as they do just end up taking 2 lanes of Rax. So I don't know quite what CDEC.Y are going to be able to do from this point forward. It's going to be so much gold for Vici. Invoker is level 14 and now has an Aghanim Scepter, so this first game, at the very least, is looking a little bit over, but I think CDEC.Y actually played this really well.
Yeah, and at the last few fights, they're just not really getting value out of their BKBs, and they're the ones getting jumped on. The DK is catching them with a blink stun, the Venge is catching them with a swap, and it's never like a Clockwork. The few times they've tried to go for a smoke where the Clockwork initiates the fight, it's been kind of detected by Ice on the Brood, or for some reason or other, it's just not worked out for them. So Vici Gaming just overall perhaps a bit more reliable initiation with a DK blink stun and just having multiple options with swap as well as DK stun. And CDEC.Y entirely relying on the Clockwork to start fights.
CDEC.Y still trying to stick in this. Gonna go and try and find that initiation that we were talking about. They're gonna find FY on the front lines here.
He gets a Tornado EMP off. He's hit 2 as well. Gets a hookshot onto 2. Burning probably doesn't mind dying himself, but I'm sure FY would love to get out. He gets 4 stuff out. They leave Burning to die once more. This poor Venge. There's the Venge illusion. AIM is saying, let's actually kill this freaking Venge illusion for once. He won't even be able to do so. Demons, he's getting stunned up as well. They've lost the Gyrocopter. And, well, the Rolling Boulder out will get blocked by Fenrir. That'll secure the kill on the Earth Spirit as the Magnetize comes out as well. OD takes a spill. The Blink over to catch the Clockwork on the other side of the cogs. We'll get a godlike streak for Dragon Knight, and GG's called. The lone survivor, Dazzle, just hiding in the trees, and man, Vengeful Spirit Aghanims is the real deal, I guess.
Yeah, just unfortunate for CDEC.Y that they couldn't quite get the 5-man going the way that they were hoping for, I think. Because that definitely seemed somewhat like the intention of the OD and the way that they set their lanes, that they were hoping that, alright, we'll get a good start on the OD, good start on the Clockwork, and then we'll just be ready to go in 5-man with our Essence Aura and our non-stop heal spam, and hopefully win fights between the Earth Spirit and the Clockwork initiation, but didn't quite work out that way. But definitely close, maybe a couple of little adjustments in the draft, and could see it work in game 2.
Yeah, I like what CDEC.Y were showing in this game, and for Vici Gaming, a bit what we expected, where they are willing to and wanting to experiment with the new patch on 6.86. They're throwing in a support invoker. They're experimenting with the new Aghanim Scepter upgrade on Venge, and not as a support, but as a core. I mean, it is Burning. He was playing the safe lane farming role, but very much when you've got 2 other good scaling cores in Dragon Knight and Brood who can both pack a punch and deal some good damage, I think he felt comfortable playing a role where he would initiate a fight, take maybe a hero with him, and then just come back with his illusion and get a lot done. So, a different way of playing the Venge